So here we are in a Victorian ground floor flat, and there's penetrating damp, there's brown stain coming through on the flank wall. You can see it at different heights, and we will find out later why that is. There's also brown stain at the back of the building, and that's caused by something completely different. So this is during the survey. I'm using a damp meter to establish that there is damp, and I recommend any homeowner or buyer buy one of these. They cost about £23.
Oh. This is a problem. You know, it's potentially causing you damp issues. But see, you've got that, and then beyond.
So this is between the two buildings.
Lines up with that plastic in there and the raised soil. So it's going to be a case of digging it out, which is going to be hard, but has to be done, and it is possible.
You can see the leaves further along there. Those are ivy leaves that is causing water to bounce into the wall.
The damp-proof course is going to be somewhere around here, and the soil should be below that. Ideally the soil should be down to the base of the plinth all the way along, and in my opinion it's for your neighbours to do that, because it's clearly their property.
So this is looking from above. You can see the two buildings, there's a different gap. The ivy leaves are down under between the two buildings, you can see there. So I removed the plastic oil can and some of the litter, but it's still built up with builder's rubble. I remove all the ivy from between the two buildings.
So it should be a lot better now. Just to test out, see which way the water's pouring, but it's away from the wall, so that's good.
So inside I find that there's no bathroom extractor fan and there's no functioning kitchen extractor fan. It does go up the chimney.
And it's slightly like that this side as well. So that's less obvious this side. It's more of an acute problem that side.
So these dribble marks, unless there's something that you've done yourself by splashing it, but they are typical of what are called condensation dribble marks. And you're getting a bit of mould down into the corner there. So it does suggest that humidity is also an issue. And obviously in a bedroom, where you got this brown staining, which you wouldn't get
That's
from
penetrating down.
Right.
From excess humidity. And it's not as bad, it's not as obvious there.
That's condensation.
That's condensation. You can tell the difference between condensation and penetrating damp in that you're getting the brown stain on the inside, whereas here you're getting condensation. And although, if I just come in over here, even though there's brown staining here and all the way up this wall, that's caused by the rust on the plasterer's beading, and it's not caused by penetrating damp. On the outside, there is exposed brick, but it looks to be in fine order, and it wouldn't cause penetrating damp.
So in this property, the issue is the building next to it, but it's their land and it's full of litter. Litter has built up between the two properties. This is a bit of an exaggeration, and in fact the buildings are closer together, but it's the litter that's causing water to bounce into your wall. What you want to do, well, I've already taken some of the litter out, but there's also builder's rubble there, and that needs to be pulled out. I would use a hoe with an extension and just, it will take time, but it just needs to be pulled out. Eventually it will come through. You want to keep the ivy at bay, keep removing it regularly, as I've done. If it were my property, I would also insulate. You can insulate all the way down, and make sure you've got flashing between the two buildings to stop water getting in. You don't especially need ventilation if you've got good insulation, so long as the property has good flashing and you regularly check it. I would consider you want to use a solid insulation, because other forms of insulation, such as loft insulation, can wick in water and cause dampness. So something like Kingspan, PIR, that type of insulation, if you can mold it and push it in as far as you can go. Obviously, the more insulation, the better. That would be my recommendation. But either way, you need to take the rubbish out. That's key. And also I put in the kitchen extractor fan, or get it working, and put in a bathroom extractor fan, and use a dehumidifier whenever drying clothes or whenever the humidity is high. Follow Dew's law, so always